MD, you're the founder of the Wardrobe Curator, Total Wardrobe Care and Total Storage Care, is it?
Total Wardrobe Storage.
Wardrobe Storage. So, and the reason I wanted to speak to you is because we've known each other a very long time, and well, I think it was about 13, 14 years ago, you came to me wanting to launch this product range, but you had one or two ideas back then, and it's evolved. And I think it's a really fascinating story and journey for others to be inspired by, for what it's done for you. So I will just start asking you a few questions that I know people would be really fascinated to find out about what you've done. And learn a bit more about what Total Wardrobe Care is.
I had a tailoring business, alterations and repairs, alterations and made to measure in Battersea. And I would repeatedly go into people's homes and they would say to me, Julia, what do you do about moths? How do you mend the holes? How do you take care of your clothes? What happens if I want to do some out of season storage? What do I pack my clothes in? And what are the right hangers to use? If I'm hanging my clothes, why have I got all these marks coming out of my shoulders? These hangers are too big. Things slip off the hangers. What should I do about that? And then if I'm going into the spring and I've got all these lovely winter woolies, how do I pack them? How do I store them? How do I fold them? And so I was given all these various problems, and being a fixer, a bit like you, solution provider, always trying to make things fit people, it became sort of the next challenge. And I started to go around and look at John Lewis and see what they had. And so it was trawl the shops and see what was available. And I saw the various coat hangers, but they were still too wide. The garment bags all had holes at the top of the neck, and I thought, well, that's no good because the moths can fly in the top of the necks. And then the moth products, and they all smelt awful. They were either plain lavender or they were mixed with something called neem oil. And so, of course, I bought some, put them in my wardrobe, hung them up, and thought, why do my knitwear smell so ghastly? And so that was it. That was when the quest begun.
Yeah, and so you began Total Wardrobe Care because you saw a great niche, a need for your clients, and there wasn't available out there. And so you brought a few things along today, which I remember very fondly making. This was the cashmere bag.
Cashmere bag.
So that was the first product.
Yes.
And you had the hangers, didn't you? And those were the two things that you were talking about particularly, which we wanted to start with pretty much first, I believe. And so
it's a non-slip, slim rubber hanger, and there's its mate, which is the one with the clips.
Yeah.
So those were the two, but the key to this, if I show you an ordinary coat hanger is about 40 centimetres wide, and mine are 38 centimetres, and that is a big difference to a piece of knitwear, because girls' shoulders tend to be that wide and not that wide. But why they make hangers 40 centimetres is because girls are 38 centimetres and boys can be about 42, 44 centimetres. Across the shoulders. And so therefore 40 centimetres seems to suit. It's unisex. But it's not unisex. Men's clothes are bigger, girls' clothes are smaller. That's just how it is.
And you get these
and
body
you get
bits.
the mark in the stretch marks in the sleeve. And so
the knitwear
solution but that was quite difficult because I wanted to get them made, and they were made in China, but we had to get our own mould.
That's right, yeah. I remember that. Yeah. Challenge. But actually, you've run how many production runs since we went through this process in setting everything up all those years ago?
I mean, it's Total Wardrobe Care has been going properly now for a good 10 years. and we reorder these every year. We have to, and the minimum order now is 3,000. So we sell somewhere between 2,000 and 3,000 every year now.
That's amazing.
It's a lot of coat hangers.
And yeah, that's a good margin as an
Yeah.
extra income. But what did inspired you to think you could actually sort of make these products in the end?
I had my own workroom, so I was able to experiment with prototypes. I wasn't going so outside the box because it was everything that I was surrounded with. So I was surrounded by garment bags and coat hangers and clothes and fabrics. So it was all at my fingertips, and I had a lovely workroom and I had great tailors working for me. So we would experiment, and the very first prototype of the cashmere bag was this rather limp calico. But I wanted it to have a window so that you could see what was in the bag.
Yes.
And I wanted it not to be made in plastic because for long-term storage, it's better that jumpers are packed into something that's breathable. And yet you can see what's inside. And here is the finished article. And then we put it in some lovely packaging.
Had you ever sort of designed and made products and sold them other than doing the tailoring, the one-off custom-made pieces before?
Well, the funny thing is that I think it's been in my blood. When I was 8 years old, I got some pinking shears and I cut out some little squares of some Liberty print fabric in Mum's sewing box. I put a piece of cotton wool between two bits and I stab stitched all the way around, and that was a pillow for my dolly. I then went down the road and knocked on everybody's door and tried to sell them for 2p.
Oh my God, that sounds like a story that I had trying to sell perfume made from flowers.
Well, there you go. You can't help it if it's in your blood.
Yeah, and the Cindy doll stuff. Wow.
Yeah.
But you'd never, I think we were talking about this, you'd never used a factory before, apart from your workroom.
No,
So
I
you
had
didn't have any?
idea.
Right.
And I'd met you, and obviously one of the sparks in our friendship was that we're full of ideas. And I didn't really know too much, although you told me what your career was. I hadn't really taken that on board as far as what the potential was for me. But I remember sharing ideas with you and saying, well, could this be done? Could that be done? And it was a light bulb moment. You said, well, yes, that's what I do. And so that's when I realised I could rely on you to then help me to launch my products. And I had no notion, no way of knowing how to do this myself. I certainly would never have gone into manufacture on my own. Certainly never would I have thought about going to China. That was like flying to the moon. But what you did was show me the possibility of what I could do. And then the sky was the limit.
And yeah, I remember you said, well, I've just got 2 products to begin with. And I said, yeah, I'm doing a trip to China for another client's product. It was a collection, actually, luxury dresses that we were making. And we were pulling it together in a very artisan factory. And I said, so these good, my fashion factory would be good for the cashmere bag because they know how to finish a beautifully challenging materials product and finish it beautifully. But we'll work on the hangers, and then we tied it all together so it was all coming through one source in the end. And I go on about this tailoring the supply chain, and then it makes it easier for your ordering and reordering. And now you've told me you've reordered this, 10 production runs, 1,000 at a time? I mean that's just so impressive. That's it's provided a lot of people with a lot of moth care, hasn't it? But on the back of that, I think what I was the point I was trying to make was I think you just trusted that I could find the right quality of factories for you, and you needed a partner in crime. And so we started with 2 products, and what was fascinating was I ended up 9 months later having produced 42 lines with you, and one of them being a moth care range, and also making your own aromatherapy scent, which was also a friend from Hong Kong who'd moved back to the New Forest. I mean, this journey went on, and the reason I know it was 9 months because I was pregnant. I got pregnant at the beginning of the process, and then
had a baby at the end.
I had a baby at the end, which was your 43rd product in a weird kind of, or our 43rd product, because you became godmother to my daughter out of the process of being almost wedded together for 9 months.
We said, hang on, baby, we've got the launch. Just stay there for another week, and bless her, she did, didn't she?
She did. We had the product launch and Claridge's, wasn't it?
Yes.
But I know it's so wonderful to interview you just 10, well, not just 10, over 10 years later, and to see what it's done for you. I mean, you were telling me about this business now. What has it done for you as a business now?
Well, it's been a very long journey and an awful lot of learning along the way, and making many, many mistakes, one of which was remortgaging my house to refinance. And I know I'm good at the ideas, I know I'm good at finding the solution, and working with you and the team. That wasn't really the problem. The problem that, well, it wasn't really a problem, but my challenge was the finance. That is not one of my strong points. That has always, or has, tripped me up in the past. But I got married 5 years ago to a lovely man, and he became my finance director.
Yes.
And I have to say that since he joined the business, that side of things has been a joy, because that was my final missing link of the team. And I would say to anybody that is starting out, know your strengths, know your weaknesses, and where your weaknesses are, you get the right people in.
Yeah,
and
especially
so
at your
important.
level now, because this is a machine now for you.
Yeah.
It just runs, doesn't it, beautifully. And then sometimes you have to roll your sleeves up and pack occasionally.
Pack boxes,
I
and I still love it. I love
Yeah.
packing the boxes.
How would you compare it to your other businesses now? How has this served you in having an extra product range business?
So it's another channel to market, and it's completely different. So the tailoring business has been a service business, and it's very intensive, one-on-one. But I've really enjoyed that, and that's where my skill set has lain. But this has opened up a whole other idea, which is all the lovely birth of the ideas, and you give birth to them, and then off they take a life of their own, and off they go. So there's two routes to market, and they're completely different. And what's happened now from the service business is that I have a lovely team, they take care of things, but my energy is now into expanding the online business, because there is no limitation for this.
Yeah.
It really can go worldwide if it had the legs to be able to do that. And
a team of 4.
only at the moment, yes.
Yeah.
But again, we're buying in the consultancy. So there's the people that do the SEO. There's the people that look after the website. There's the PR and the marketing. There's taking new products to market, finding factories, etc. So. And now I've got an Amazon consultant, because that's a whole other world.
Yeah, amazing.
So, and I need an Instagrammer, because again, there's an Instagram shop there. So there's lots of routes to market.
Yeah.
And we've also employed my husband's daughter as the manager, and so she deals with all the lovely customer service.
Brilliant.
So it now is good fun. And we enjoy it, and we all work well, and we know what we've all got to do, and hopefully it'll just grow nicely, but gently and steadily.
But you were saying to me, it's actually now overtaken your original business, which was tailoring and alterations.
Yes.
I mean, that's phenomenal.
Who knew
that it could take that turn and provide this so much for you in another way. So, it's been amazing to talk to you, Julia.
Well, thank you.
There's going to be many more journeys, and I think we'll probably have to do a part 2 on some of the other products, especially on the moth care as well. So, thank you again for that.
Thank you.
And we'll speak soon.
Thank you.